Yeah, hello guys. I think I'm audible to all of you. Can you please confirm in the chat? And welcome to another podcast. Yeah, so I think we're live. You can hear me, you can see me. Yeah, so it's been long, guys. Again, we are back with another podcast, and today we have one amazing guest with us. So today we'll be talking about the artificial intelligence beyond the career, healthcare, and professional growth. Even we'll be also talking about, let's say, if you want to, let's say, switch your career to a different industries, or let's out of the country. So what you have to follow, what are the path you have to follow? Everything we'll try to discuss today. And if you have any query, you can feel free to comment in the comment section. From there, we'll try to pick up your query and we'll try to definitely give the answer. So I would like to invite Rinal to the stage. Hi, Rinal. Am I audible? Can you
Yes,
hear?
hello.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for joining. So today we are live with a podcast, and today we'll be talking about lots of topic. I think because you have huge amount of experience in the field of AI. Already you are working with healthcare domain. I think okay, and you are already working in the abroad. I think yeah, country also. So it would be amazing opportunity for all the people to talk with you, even to communicate with you. So, first of all, let me know about yourself. Like, what is your current experience? What you are doing exactly? Okay, so that our audience can get to know about yourself.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Buffy, for giving me this stage and inviting me for the podcast. Just sharing my little experience, whatever I have, so that people can benefit from that. So, myself, Reenal, I'm basically living and working in Sweden as a right now I'm working as a AI engineer at AI Medical Technology. So I have near about more than 6 years experience as a backend developer. Then after that, I switched to this data domain. So more than 4 years, 4 years of experience as a data scientist and AI engineer. Overall, I have more than 10 years of experience in the IT industry. So I would like to share some of the tricks and tips how you can switch or whatever my experience is so that people can benefit over it. So this is little bit about me.
That's great. Okay. So, see, you told like you are currently staying in Sweden and you have cracked some good jobs
Hmm.
there. So, just
Hmm.
let us know like how was the experience moving to Sweden? Okay, for you, and
Hmm.
what was the biggest challenges actually you faced that time? If you can share with us, so that would be amazing.
Great. That's so because of my partner got an opportunity in Sweden, so we have to shift to Sweden. So I've been working in India, Pune. So I had more than 3 years of experience at that time as a backend developer. Then after that, I have to leave everything and move with my partner to Sweden. So after
Hmm.
coming to Sweden, so it's been quite difficult. Definitely lots of challenge. So to get to know about the job market, how you can penetrate the job market, how the system works actually. So there are lots of learning. So definitely, it's not about only career wise, but the penetrating in the society. So in each aspect, there is a challenge actually. So that's the initial stage of me actually. So when I started come to Sweden, so I get to know about how the society works, how the job market works actually. So I try to get understanding how the system works. So first of all, if somebody is moving to any country, try to understand the overall market, how the system works. Try to understand the job market, how you're going to penetrate. Try and read the job description carefully and take the opportunity whatever it comes in your way. So I started again with the internship actually. So to gain some of the experience in this country, so I started with a full-time internship. So I started with some assignments, back-end assignment. I started paid, unpaid role. So whatever opportunities I'm getting, I try to grasp that opportunity. So same thing I will advise, take whatever opportunity you can. Then after working with one of the company. So I came to know about this data AI kind of the stuff. Actually, the this overall the AI field and the data field. So then that strikes my interest actually. So how it's working actually, the algorithms. So how it's actually this field come to know me actually, and my interest started developing, and that started learning and exploring, bit going deep into this data field. Then I started with the data analysis, then data modeling, then AI engineer, then the path continues.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So I want to just get to know that how did you get the interest in AI field? Okay, let's say there are so many fields are available: software engineering, robotics. Okay, but how
Hmm.
did you get the interest in AI? I mean, what is the main thing
What
you fascinated about? Yeah, just later let us know.
interest is definitely like data maths is from the beginning. I did my industrial mathematics with computer application, my master's. So maths is always I numbers and maths is always my interest. But I was not getting like I was just doing my back end job, but I was not getting my passion or was interest actually. So but when I started into this data field, like whether that's analysis or building models or any kind of this field, I feel like like it is telling the truth. The data never tells the truth actually. How you go in deep, you will get some beautiful insights actually, whatever it could be. Some insights are shock, and some insight are really beautiful actually. So that strike my interest. So it's like honesty about the data actually, and the truth that data tells. So that's the most motivating me to, and I feel the passion actually. So uh, after backend, I would say I can do this data AI for how long hours I can. Means it's like day and night I can do. So that's the important thing. You need to find out what it's you liking actually. That's most important thing, and I think I found that actually.
Hmm. Okay, that's great. So I have a questions like see this question is from everyone. Let's say they usually ask, sir, let's say if I want to crack any good job, okay, in a
Hmm.
abroad company, let's say I
Hmm.
want to settle down there. So
Hmm.
what are the approach should I follow? What are the roadmap I should follow so that I can do it easily? And how did you
Hmm.
prepare your profile for that? Okay, so if you can give some guidance on top of it.
Okay, so even if you want to crack the local companies or the abroad companies, so profiling is most important aspect, I will say. Profile. So first of all, you need to customize your CV for each job which you are applying. Your
Mm,
LinkedIn should be up to date. Your LinkedIn should have the enough information. Your GitHub should be up to date. So whatever the roles which you are targeting, so you need your profile or your CV or your LinkedIn should replicate that actually. So your LinkedIn should be updated. So you should have to make all these changes and all the edit. Your profile should be up to date, and customize your CV and the cover letter for the each job application, and target the companies which you want to target in the LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the most powerful tool or the platform, I will say.
okay,
So
that's great.
this is just a profiling part I have just tell, but in terms of cracking the technical aspect, so you should gain the skill set whatever it's needed for like to becoming the data scientist, or like if you're targeting the data analysis, or if you're targeting the DevOps. So whatever the skills or whatever the job roles which you are targeting, you should gain the one by one skill set, and then you can prepare your profile accordingly. What's interest or what suits you?
Mm,
Suits you the best.
okay. And what about the project part? Let's say how I can mention my project in the resume and what kinds of project should I mention in the resume?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Project, with respect to the project part, actually, I will say whatever you learn, actually. So whether that's a small tech or like any big tech or the skill set, I will say, whether that's a DevOps or data analysis. If you're learning something, start building small, whether that's even a small database, MySQL database. Anything which you learn, create a small project, upload that to the GitHub, start practicing that. So any skill set you want to learn, start creating the small project, uploading that. I used to do that when I was learning in the learning phase. And with respect to project, we should actually target target not like too many projects in the CV. And there should be 2 3 good projects in the CV that replicate the overall complete profile. And most important part is, which whatever the project which you put it in the CV, you should able to talk, and you should able to talk anything about that project. So you should always put that project whichever you are confident enough to talk about it. So whether that's a small project or the big project, that does not matter, but you should be comfortable with that actually.
Okay, that is great, and thanks for the information. I want to just get to know that, like you mentioned, you are working in the healthcare domain, I think, right?
Hmm.
So, how you are using artificial intelligence in the healthcare domain? Like, what is
Hmm.
your approach to use that technology here? If you can give some, yeah.
So I'm working in the healthcare domain, means whichever company which I have worked. So their product and their focus is on the healthcare data. So mostly I have been working on the healthcare data a lot. That's what I call as a, like I mostly work in the healthcare domain. So previously in previous company, I used to work on the diabetes data to get an insight, like what's triggering diabetes, and to get an analysis and to understand that process. Everything we were working on that. And now I'm working on the skincare cancer detection. We have the skincare images of the different types, so we need to detect the different skincare cancer. So this is what right now I'm working actually. Skin healthcare domain and the AI is really fascinating. Actually, I will say so that I will say the application, like how we can use the AI, is very wide. Customize, plan,
Mm,
customize medicine. So there are lots of use cases which we can have. Genome analysis is there. So there are lots of domain which we can use actually. So we can create AI for like which we can have the uh, we can give for the general physicians actually. So there are lots of use cases about the AI and the healthcare domain. Like medicines, we can use the AI for creating the medicines, that to customize medicine as well.
mm,
Different kind of the diseases actually, cancer, also cancers, not only skin cancer, but with the help of the genome understanding, we can actually create a targeted drugs for the cancer. So there are lots of use cases actually, and I will amaze about that actually. And that's the
mm,
reason I would say it's mostly it's interest. It's my personal interest is with the healthcare domain actually. So you can directly see the effect or your whatever you're developing. So the small, whether that's a small or the big, but you can directly see the effect of with this AI with the community actually. So direct impact is there. So that's what I like about AI and healthcare actually.
mm. Okay, so I think mostly in healthcare, you are working with computer vision kinds of, let's say, domain or any
Hmm.
generative
Hmm.
AI, generative AI approach you are also using there. Like we have generative AI, agentic AI nowadays, I think, in the
Hmm. Hmm.
market. So are you using
Hmm.
this Gen AI, agentic AI concept in the healthcare domain? And if you're using, how
No,
you are using?
it's depend upon the use case. So right now, generative AI is we are not using generative AI because whatever the visions models are there, CNN models are there, it's quite powerful to solve our use cases. So it's depend upon the use cases if you want to use the generative AI or not. So mostly it's about the text and all. if you want to generate a text and if you want to create anything about related to text. So our data is mostly about the images and all. So we are not using generative AI, but it's again it depends upon the use case. If we want to use, if we can actually, but we are right now not using the generative AI. But that's domain is completely big and definitely fascinating. There are lots of use case surrounding that Gen AI and LLM. So I have created one while I was learning. I've created the chatbot, like Geeta chatbot is there. I've created a
Hmm.
different chatbot. So quite interesting actually. We can add more stuff in that domain as that aspect as well, but depends upon the requirement if you want to use or not actually. And I will say if your use case is solvable by machine learning, then don't go with the high end models. If your use case is solvable by CNN or small scale language models, then why you're going with the big models?
Hmm. Yeah. So got it. Okay, I'm getting a questions. After making projects, deployment is compulsory in any web app. What would be your answer here?
I
After
would
making
say
a project, yeah.
yeah. Deployment is, I will say deployment is also important. So there are different ways of deploying different application like machine learning or the NLP or there are different ways. So whether you can create a Docker container or whether you can host in AWS. So I will say you should know this knowledge, different cloud platforms, what are the services which you can use it in their cloud platform for the deployment. AWS has their services, GCP has their services, Azure has their services. So I would say at least you should know the basic services for the deployment and also the Docker. So some of the basic stuff you should definitely know, I will say. I will recommend people to learn that actually.
Okay, great. So you mentioned that you are working on a project called skin cancer detection, right?
Hmm.
Currently.
Hmm. Hmm.
So can you please share some of your experience, like how you are implementing the projects and what is your exactly the job
Hmm.
role here? Okay, how you are approaching the problem statement, how you collected the data, what kinds of
Hmm.
technology you are using. Okay, so can you please give some experience on that?
Yeah, so data is definitely we are collecting. So data source is completely anonymous. That's private. I cannot share the data source. But we are having the skin cancer, different, not only melanoma skin cancer. So there are different kind of the skin cancer. So we have the images for the different kind of the skin cancer. So the approach to solve is to we need to find out like if you upload the image, then we should get the diagnosis whether that's a melanoma skin cancers or whether that's a BCC. This is one of the kind of the skin cancer or SCC. So we can get when you send the image, we should get the diagnosis from the model which kind of the skin cancer. That's a problem statement which we have. So we created the pipeline. So pipeline for the data onboarding. We create a pipeline for the data processing. We create a pipeline for the training models. So we created a different pipeline. So with that pipeline, we train a different CNN models, ResNet. There are different kind of the models, which is vision models, which is available. So we train the model, and definitely we validate with the test data and check how it's performing actually. This is how the approach which we have find actually.
Okay, that's great. So see, guys, I think you got lots of answer regarding your questions, like how AI can be used in the product development and all. And she's already working with medical domain, so if you are interested in medical domain, if you are implementing something, definitely you can connect her. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is your advice for the beginner who wants to switch their career into AI, especially in the foreign country? So what would be your suggestion for them, and what is your roadmap? Okay, you will like to, yeah, give them.
Yeah, advice and the roadmap which I follow, I started with Python basic. So I started with the Python, then I started with the data analysis, how you analyze, plot a data, different data set. At least you should know the MySQL, NoSQL, one of the basic data sets. Then I started with ML, different algorithms. So I started with one by one algorithm. So how it's like, whether that's implementing or understanding. So I will say this ML algorithm is the base. You should know how it's working actually. So you should not only focus on like coding, but how is the decision tree is working, how is the linear regression working. So you should understand the actually the maths behind that, the basics algorithm. Then I started with that. Then after completing the ML, then I started with the deep learning, the different CNN architecture, transformer, all these deep learning architectures, visions and all. Then I started with the deep learning neural network, and then I started with the NLP, the large language models and all that, and then the agentic AI. So this is how. So advice will be start from the base, and depend upon your interest, start adding the skill set on your bucket. So whether that's a DevOps skill, or whether that's a model building, data scientist skill, or data analysis skill, or business system, whatever the job role which you are targeting, based upon that you should add uh, you should learn or add one by one skill set to your profile. That's my recommendation.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. So I'm getting. So guys, if you have some question, let me know. So learn with Hassan is telling, bro, your channel is very good. Just a minute. Yeah, I watched your video daily. Your channel is so underrated. You are the best teacher for the Python. Thank you. Not only Python, actually, I'm also trying to put content related AI, Gen AI, ML also there. So yeah.
Guys, I also learn a lot of things from the Buffy channels, and from the iNeuron, and now it's a Neuron. So I also joined lots of courses from there whenever I want to upskill. So I definitely recommend their course. It's affordable and great content, I will say. So if you want to upskill, definitely I'll recommend, because I personally also learn from these guys only, actually.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm getting another questions as a fresher in data analytics profile in healthcare domain. How to take job in healthcare after completing Python starts and ML.
So
So
it's not particularly the domain. It's like whether that company is working in healthcare, or whether that company is working in the banking domain, or whether that company is in working in the fintech domain, whatever domain. So based upon your interest, you need to target such kind of the companies actually. So
okay.
first of all, I will recommend focus on the base learning algorithm, all the base. Once your base is strong, I will say it's easy. But understanding the algorithm, understanding the maths, actually understanding the basic Pythons is important, and then rest is a fine. You can add one by one skill set, but we should focus on the creating your base strong.
Hmm. Yeah, that is exactly right. Even I follow the same thing. Okay. So another question, I'm getting some architecture diagram on the project of that cancer detection. So what is your architecture there?
Architecture, yes, we have the architecture diagram, but I cannot share completely. But like, as I mentioned previously, like, we have created the pipeline, three different pipelines. So one pipeline where we are loading the data from the source. When we are collecting all the data, like the images, then other pipeline is we process the data, like whether that's image is blur, or how is the image. We need to filter out some of the image. If we don't need the person, we just need the skin lesion image. So other kind of the filters, OCR filters we apply. There are different kind of the filter pre-processing, pre-data pre-processing which we do. So this is a second pipeline which we created. Then once the data pre-processing is done, we created the third pipeline, the training pipeline. So we split the data between train and trace, and then we create a training. So this is a when I talk about the pipeline, you need to write all this script and trigger one by one. So that has to be automated. So this is general pipeline or architecture which everyone follows in the industry. That's a common architecture.
Okay. So another questions, I have developed a strong foundation in Python. So what should be the next step? Should I go for math or should I go for the libraries first?
If you have strong foundation in Python, I would suggest you should learn little bit about the stats, and then definitely go with different ML machine learning algorithms and all. So statistics is also important, having knowledge about the statistics. So that will help you to analyze the data actually.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. And what is your next, let's say, interest in healthcare domain? Are you exploring anything currently? Any research you are doing in healthcare? The next project, let's
Um,
say.
Definitely, there are lots of stuff is going on in healthcare domain as well, in
Mm,
AI and healthcare domain. So if you see, there are most important, which I feel is personalized medicine actually.
mm,
So for example, each person, based upon their like you know their genome and all, so you can customize the medicine for the different diseases,
mm,
like whether that's for the skin cancer and all. And towards that, there are lots of research going on, and actually that's a need of the society right now. So for example, let me give you quick example. So for example, if you have the drug for the cancer, so that will not help for the all the people, because the kind of the kind of the body and the genome system and everything is different. So if you can customize that medicine for the different people, so that can be more effective. So such kind of the research is also going on, and I will say that definitely fascinating actually.
mm. Okay. One person is telling how did we implement the CI/CD for the model? What are the tech stack you used for that?
Yeah, CI/CD tech stack we are use is definitely we need to create a Docker container, and we need to create use GitHub for triggering the different pipeline. So GitHub
Mm,
Actions which we have used. So this is a basic uh, tech stack which we have used.
okay. Great. So I think, guys, we have covered lots of your questions. We have given lots of your answer, and we discussed about the AI in healthcare domain. Okay, even she has also shared his her experience. Okay, in the field of that. Even she has also given you lots of guidance regarding like how you can switch your career. Okay, in that particular domain also. So if you have any other question, you can simply connect her. So you will get her LinkedIn profile, the same name. If you can search there, definitely will get the LinkedIn profile. And anything last you can convey for the audience, anything, any motivational things you can convey for the audience, so that after that we can end the podcast.
Okay, so nothing. Keep learning, I will say. Learning never stops. So keep learning and follow your passion, whatever you like. So there are lots of things is there to learn actually. So first I will say explore what you are liking actually. So this data field is also big. So whether you're liking the DevOps, whether you're liking the data analysis, whether you're liking the model building or whatever you're liking, first explore what you're liking and then go in deep in that actually. That will benefit you a lot actually. And keep learning. These two stuff I will say uh, to the audience actually.
Yeah, that is right. Even I follow the same thing. Consistency is the key. If you're consistent enough, definitely will be able to achieve any kinds of success. Yeah, thank you,
Uh,
Renu. Yeah, tell me.
Nothing. Yeah, and also, there is a lot to learn. One key is how you can learn a different stuff, because there is a lots of stuff is there in the market to learn, and it's evolving. So I would suggest one thing: you should not take everything at a time. You should learn one thing at a time and then clear out. So if you have to
Hmm.
drink the sea, you have to drink the drop by drop. So that's a strategy people can apply, and I'm applying the same. So learn one thing at a time, not everything. So drink the sea drop by drop. That's the strategy.
Okay, that's great. So yeah, guys, we are done with the podcast, and it was nice conversation with Rinal. And thanks her for joining this awesome podcast. Even I would like to invite her in the future podcast also. If you are interested, guys, please let us know. Okay. So okay, guys. So I think we are done. Always remember, consistency is the key, and keep learning, keep exploring. The more you will be exploring, the more you will be learning. Okay. With that, I would like to end the podcast. Thank you, guys. Bye, everyone. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.